Hey, this is paper. I'm drawing on it. So I was born in a year to a mom, and it was great until I had some weird thing called pyloric stenosis. So I couldn't keep food down because something was too narrow, or I don't know. I mean, it was whatevs. So I got surgery and I have a cool scar on my stomach, and that's it. So all of this happened in New Jersey, which is where I grew up in a sexy little house with my parents and my grandparents on my mom's side. When I was 6, my brother was born, and all 6 of us lived under the same roof because it would be weird if we were living on top of it. Somehow I had straight light brown hair when I was a child, then at some point it was nah, and it turned into a huge dark brown afro. Actually not even an afro, it was a frolit, which is a cross between an afro and a mullet. Shut up, it was the 90s. I got glasses pretty early. I think I was in 1st grade, maybe 2nd, so I wasn't the coolest looking kid. My best friends were definitely my cousins, as in my dad's sister's kids, and we'd beg our parents every weekend to stay at each other's houses, and they were always like, "'Kay." Every summer we'd go to Toronto, which is in Canadian land, to visit my 2nd and 3rd cousins, and it was super awesome. We would play card games that I was really bad at, and pool, which I was also really bad at. But back to New Jersey. So in 5th grade, someone made the wise decision of cutting off my frolit, but it still didn't make me the cool kid. One of my best friends now, Christina, actually pushed me off of the bench in the cafeteria in 6th grade because her cool friends dared her to. We became friends a few years later because of reasons. Guys used to push me in the hallway and call me gay for funsies, I guess. I mean, funsies for them, obviously not funsies for me. They branded me one of the Fag 5 with 4 other guys who weren't cool enough apparently, and not even necessarily gay. 3 of these so-called cool kids even threw rocks at me one day after school by the baseball field as I was walking home. In 7th grade, I met Justine, aka JP Metz on YouTube, and she was sitting in front of me in English or history class. I don't really remember because we had the same teacher for both, and she was drawing something. I specifically remember it was 2 girls sitting at a desk, and I was amazed at how good it was. So I tapped her, and I said something like, "How did you do that?" And she was probably like, "I don't know," and then we became friends. Around that time, we started a comic starring our group of friends called The Walnuts, where she was this unenthused, deadpan character, and I was this whimsical idiot in disco attire. So, accurate. We also wrote Hanson fan fiction, and we had our own websites. She had a Hanson website, and I had a random one called Random Is As Random Does, where I posted pictures of stop signs with mockingly deep quotes as captions. My high school was pretty small. There were 170 people in my class, so everyone knew everyone and blah blah blah. The bullying, of course, carried on into high school, but I guess I just learned how to ignore it and paid attention to things that mattered, like math. Just kidding, I hated math, and it was hard to ignore bullies, but I thought it sounded cool. Actually, I dropped out of pre-calculus because I was about to fail, and I switched to ceramics instead. How that worked, I have no clue. As for extracurriculars, or whatever they're called, I was in our school's artistically talented program, the creative writing program, and Amnesty International, which my friend Natalie spearheaded. That makes her sound like a warrior. Actually, she kind of is a warrior. A peace warrior. So I had some awesome teachers, especially Mrs. Clark, who ran the art program, and Mrs. Mula, who ran creative writing. And it sounds corny, but they really inspired me to be who I am today. Or inspired me to be who I was then, but then I eventually became the person I am today. Whatever. I came out when I was 17, and it was hard listening to people telling you you're wrong for being you, or you're going to this super hot place after you die with no ice cream because it would probably melt, and I love ice cream. I mean, I had a crush on Will Smith when I was 11, I just didn't know that was different until I realized I was gay when I was 15. I was like, oh, that's why I liked Aladdin. No, but really, I don't believe in supernatural things now, but I was raised Catholic, and it really plagued my thoughts. I tried to ignore it, and I prayed to change it, and all of that, until I realized, hey, this is who I am, this is who I happen to be attracted to, it's not a big deal, and it doesn't make me a bad person. My senior year of high school, I had a little more confidence, and my friend Heather and I sang in our school's version of American Idol, and we sang Killing Me Softly. Oh, yeah, I like to sing too. Anyway, we made it past the first round, but we didn't win. Sad times. I also made a mockumentary for film class called It Must Be the Water with a bunch of my friends that we thought was hilarious, and I wish I knew where it was because I would figure out a way to upload it to show you guys. More sad times. College was awesome because there was no such thing as popular. You could be you for the most part, and other people could be them, and foxes could be llamas if they wanted to. That's a lie. A fox can never be a llama. physically impossible. So I went to community college first, and I did cool things like take photography classes and worked on the school newspaper with Christina. I got to write an article on one of my favorite singers, Lisa Loeb, after a show she had in the area, and I got awesome pictures of her, and it was awesome. After 2 years there, I transferred to Montclair State University, but it kind of sucked because not all of my credits transferred, so I found out it would actually take me 5 years to graduate instead of 4. But that turned out all cool and fine because I met some pretty awesome people in my major, like Kayreen, who you may have seen in videos, and tons of other cool people that you probably haven't. It was also around this time that Justine moved to Philadelphia, and the two of us started a band with her roommate at the time and made some silly music. I also had a MySpace for my own music, which I used as my creative outlet before I started making YouTube videos. Speaking of YouTube, I eventually did start making videos, and the first videos that I made were covers of songs. I did a lot of R&B covers like John Legend songs, Jasmine Sullivan, Erykah Badu, Aaliyah, and tons of others. And yeah, this is all on the channel that you're watching this video on. After some time, I realized I wanted to make more stuff like I did with my friends in high school, just generally being weird and hopefully funny. A year into making comedy videos, I met an awesome person named Ken, who I am currently in the process of moving in with. Moving is hard. You have to, move stuff. But yeah, so I've met so many people through YouTube that I don't even want to begin to name them because there are too many people to name and I wouldn't want to forget anyone. Just know that there are a lot of them and I love them. Sometime in the timeline, the place I worked customer service at went out of business. I graduated from college with a bachelor's in communication with a concentration in public relations, and instead of pursuing that, I just kept making videos. I'm beyond grateful that anyone enjoys the stuff that I put out there, and I'm glad that I have the opportunity to make people smile. And the opportunity to eat ice cream whenever I want.
Wow, Nick, really touching.
Keisha,
leave the boy alone. He ain't hurting no one.
Stupid, leave him alone.
Oh my god, you guys are so lame.
Hey, Keisha, you free tonight?
No, I'm expensive tonight.
Oh my god, I get it. You're so funny.
I don't get it.
I told you, Larry, that Rita's a little dippy.
Harriet, she can hear you. Guys,
What?
Wow, that actually worked. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Okay, bye.
She can't hear me, Larry. I'm whispering.
I got a question for you, girl. Do you care about the earth? Do you care about the earth? No, bitch, no, bitch, no, bitch, no, bitch.